Hello, baby angels. Welcome to the last installment. I'm BB. This is 9 of 9 on my tarot and oracle collection from 2022. I do have a few Kickstarters on the way, but I guess that'll just be a hi, these are my new decks video rather than, you know, this is my entire collection, because my entire collection is always changing. I have some decks that I am not showing that are leaving my collection because I am usually in some sort of rotation of selling. Just because more recently, like these are old decks that I've had for a long time that I just haven't found useful, or I haven't found to be within my aesthetic. Because that's evolved, or it's not really evolved, it's gotten more refined. I'm more particular, and I know what works for me, you know. So here we are. Okay, so a lot of these are from like a little box that I keep, like a keepsake box that I keep, a keepsake box. So a lot of these don't have boxes. They did originally, but maybe I got rid of them because they were yucky, gross, and old, and you know. I have a lot of decks to cover in this last video, so I really need to speed it up here. Jonasa Jaus. I'm gonna say that because I said Jonasa House before and was told that that's probably not the correct way, so we're gonna say Jonasa Jaus. This is the Jonasa Jaus Tarot. These are the backs. I don't remember what edition this is. Maybe it's the 3rd edition? 2nd or 3rd, maybe? I don't remember. It is in Galician, which is a dialect of Spanish, and Galicia is in Spain. This has come in different dimensions and different color schemes. The fronts are the same, I think, as the first couple editions of this deck. But the backs are different. The box was different. This is one of my favorite types of illustrations. I really love the faces. I love the way that she draws pretty much everything, but people especially. Again, we say it again and again, a limited color palette. It has 1 foot in fantasy and 1 in reality, 1 foot in history, 1 in the modern times. I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with Jonasa Jaus. I wish Jonasa Jaus had a YouTube channel. Can we make that happen? Because I want to pick her brain. The entire cup suit is so good. It's also a color combination I don't see very often, but it's so striking. That's kind of what she's known for, in my mind, because she also is the author and artist of the Stunning Tarot. I believe this deck is based on Marseille, a great tower card. Okay, so that's Jonasa Jaus Tarot. Let's hop to it. This is a brand new one to my collection. Oh no, that's my dog. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I think the dog is taken care of. The next deck I have is the official Disney Alice in Wonderland Tarot deck. I did not think I was going to purchase this deck. I love Disney and I love Disney art, but I'm not always a fan of their merch or their licensed merch, or I also didn't think that I needed a specifically Alice in Wonderland deck. There are a lot out on the market and many of them are very beautiful, but I never read the books and I just didn't really feel the need. I didn't think that I knew enough about the books to justify it. I don't know, I just never felt called to do so. But I did see a walkthrough of this deck and was very quickly converted. So I'll show you. These are the backs. It's beyond gorgeous, apart from the fact that the borders are uneven, which is very obnoxious, but I don't hate that enough to wait for a corrected deck. I just think it's so amazing. It really reminds me of Mary Blair, who was an art director for Disney back in the 50s and 60s. She did a lot of conceptual art for, I believe, Cinderella, but I know she did a lot for Sleeping Beauty, probably among others. The minor are pips, but I feel like they're gonna look so good in a spread. Even the backgrounds, like there's so much dimension in the art itself. The pips honestly are part of or one of my favorite things about this deck, because I just think for pips, they're just so beautiful. They're so well done. Maybe I'll show like a little bit of a spread. The flowers, oh my God, the flowers. Oh my God. I just don't have any words for the quality of these images. This pleases me. This makes me very happy. Like, let's do a little card pull just really quickly. As I was saying, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to keep this really brief. Cool, we've got our Mercury card. Oh, wow. Watch me not get any pips. Oh my gosh, no pips. And I can't just pull it. I have to, like I have to do this way. Oh my gosh, nothing I'm pulling is a pip. Well, thanks for coming to my to my major arcana pull. What the hell? Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to just pull some out. Let's see. Okay, I've got I really think that they do break up the quartz and the majors really well, you know? Okay, let's see. Let's try this. Are we going down? Let's go down. Okay. Or like even less, you know? I don't know. I'm gonna play around with them. I think it's really, even if you do like all pips, like I feel like there's something to work with there. Anyway, okay, I'm done. It's not even that pretty. I could sit here and make pretty things for you all day, or I could just show you my collection. Okay. The next is the Tarot de Carlotydes, Carlotydes. I have no idea. This is by Fournier, the publisher. Again, love the like illustrative art style. It's very folky. And then it gets like vintage. Look at the nails. We're mixing a lot of genres here, but the art style is the same. I don't know. I think this deck is so sick. It's definitely up my alley. Like every image is really fascinating or pleasing in some way. Hettiene. Very feminine, which I very dig. I want to like show every card because they're all so good. I was like, oh, should I be getting this deck? And then I thought like, oh, maybe I'm just buying it off of a couple images, you know? But no, it's every image that I really, really like. And then, of course, you've got, like, Bowie. I know some people have not liked seeing, like, a random pop culture reference, especially, like, one that's more recent. But I guess the 70s aren't really that recent anymore. I wasn't alive for them. But in this deck specifically, I think it just works. Seeing Bowie in the Lioness Oracle Tarot, it doesn't bother me, but it's like kind of weird. I guess it's kind of weird in this too, but I don't know. I'll accept it. Anyway, a great deck, a great like everyday deck, especially if you want to have some like escape and fantasy, but it still just feels so accessible. Okay, what do we have next? I forget the name of this one. I think it's the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And this one I love for the images because, again, that they're very vintage. But they have a keyword. They have a like planetary association and then like a zodiac sign association. So there's like a deck, or I'm sorry, there's a card for every placement. And it also kind of helps me understand each placement better. So this is Libra, Mercury in Libra. So its theme is influence, or the sun in Aquarius, idealism. I am a follower of astrology as far as like I am a student of astrology. I like to learn about it. I like to apply it to my everyday life and my relationships. I don't keep track of transits as much. Like that's a little, I don't want to say advanced, but I think that everyone like approaches or discovers astrology like in their own way. And, you know, you may start with transits. You may start with like that was your introduction to it. For me, that was not. So that's something that I feel like I'll get into later. I mean, I've been into astrology since I was probably like 8. But yeah, like this is a great, this like goes with more decks than you think it would, you know, if you like to aid your tarot readings with Oracle. But it's also great to use with transits too. So like Mercury is in Gemini right now, so you could find like the Mercury in Gemini card and you could have it on your altar. I don't have an altar, but I'd like to make one. I feel like I don't have space for one, or space where I would want it, you know? Okay, the next deck, the Axiom Oracle deck, 2nd edition. This was a Kickstarter. This is a very straightforward deck. Let me get it out of the bag. Here are the backs. The gilding is pretty cool. This is a text-only deck. I like how open-ended it is. I think sometimes these cards like aren't enough for people, or they scare people, and sometimes this is like what I'm in the mood for, especially when I'm reading somebody else, because then it's really a conversation, and it's like, what does this mean to you? What comes up when I pull this card in your mind? Or this is what it feels like to me, you know. I'm gonna read tarot for my mom's 60th birthday in September, and I'm like, my wheels are turning about like which decks I'm gonna bring, and I feel like I should definitely bring this, and I think I might bring the Alice in Wonderland Tarot too. I think that would be cool. All right, the Star Spinner. This is an independent deck, but I believe you can still order it. Here are the backs. It is wonderful. I don't know if you would call this like manga influenced. There's definitely a lot of like youth to it. The colors are great. This would probably look really cool next to the Tarot of the Divine. This is by Trungles, and I have the Very Little Tarot by Trungles as well. I wish it said more in the guidebook about the images. That's something that the Alice in Wonderland Tarot actually does do, which is really, really awesome. Like, even it has like a description of the card through the lens of like the image, and then it also has an upright and reverse definition also relating to the characters, like using that as kind of a fable. It's really cool. I don't know why I'm still talking about that deck. Probably because it's new. To be very honest, I haven't connected to this deck very much, but it's so visually pleasing that like I can't give it away. An example of a mermaid that I love, you know, like some of these images I do know what stories they are, and I love the depictions, but it definitely strays from RWS sometimes. It is just so visually stunning. Like, I live in that world in my head. I don't know what world you're living in, but this is the one I'm living in. Maybe not with like the same exact colors, but some of the color schemes in the cards are like dead on. They're all great, but you know. So that's the Star Spinner. This is the Mysteries of the Black Madonna. These are the backs. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous girls. This is like what my bedroom, like inspo is, kind of. Are these edged? No, I should probably edge them in like black. This is a very, I don't know, this is a deck that you have to invest in, not only like monetarily. Only 1,000 were made of this, but like mentally you need to invest in it. It has she's changed the names of some of the majors and the suits of all of the minors and the names of some of the courts. So there's just a lot to learn, as well as the fact that there's so much in each image. Like, these are little altars that were made. And then she photographed. I have always been very interested in religious iconography, specifically Catholic. I'm not Catholic, but when you're a lover of intricate, bejeweled, opulent imagery and like decor and I don't know, just like aesthetics, really, this is, I think, my favorite, if not like one of my favorites. I really do love this one too. So I feel like this is the kind of deck where I will pull a card and then read about it and reflect on it, like maybe journal about it. I have not done that. Don't think I'm that like efficient. I love these rosebuds in the back. But really an amazingly like wonderful deck with a wealth of like power, and like feminine energy. It definitely feels, even though it's like traditionally religious, it feels like very mystical. I saw this on someone's channel and then immediately had to find it online and see how I could get it. I think when I saw it, there were only 5 left. And then when I got the funds together, I think I sold some decks to be able to buy this. And once I did that, there were only 3 left. And I was so, so grateful for the timing. All right, next up is if I can get out of the bag. Okay, the Marielle. You thought I wasn't gonna have the Marielle, but I do. I mean, what has not been said about the Marielle Tarot? This is the first edition, I believe, because it does not have the new Hierophant. A potentially very intimidating deck. It kind of was intimidating to me too, but I was just so captivated by the imagery that I didn't care if it was kind of above my head. It works in a completely different way than I'm familiar with. It's definitely based off of numerology, which is not the way that I have traditionally read tarot. But it is very intuitive. So, I mean, I've gotten certain cards, you know, they've come up in readings before with this deck, and I could tell that they were a different meaning than what I was used to, but I kind of just went with it, you know, and I didn't use the book at the time. The book is a wealth of knowledge of like worldly, it like feels very like Akashic, like, oh, nudity warning. Yeah, the book is really dense, and I mean that in like the best way. This isn't the type of deck that you pick up and for like a light reading, right? I mean, I guess you could tell just from the imagery that that's the case. But the book especially, it's like it goes there. And I don't mean like in a shadowy place. It goes there in like a universal, generational, like it's wild. It's very expansive. There are many videos about learning this deck and the breakdown of this deck, studying this deck, that I have in my YouTube watch later that have been there for years that I need to finish. All right, next up is an oracle. It is the Bad Girl Oracle. This is a fave of mine. The art is great. The guidebook is wonderful. Very empowering. Very rebellious, naughty, fun. I mean, it is the Bad Girls. I really like, I am a huge fan of pop culture and pop culture throughout the decades in the US. Oh my gosh, my cat. First my dog and then my cat. Oh, give me 1 second. So as a pop culture junkie, this deck feels so good. I love it. I also love film, so using visual, I think she called it visual genres, archetypes. It's everything. Like, I will nerd out. I'm trying not to show you every card, but like, they're just too good. Let me know if you have this deck and like how you use it, because I would love to utilize it even more than I do already. Okay. Another oracle. We're so oracle heavy in this one. I like it. Oh, okay. This is the Zodiac Oracle by Amber Carr. She's an artist that I love. I follow her on Instagram. You should check her out. This is really simplistic. This has the houses, moons, and then some of like some key cards, planets. So yeah, unfortunately not her amazing art in every card, but when it's there, it's so worth it. Oh yeah, I love the Pisces card. Oh, they're all turned around. No commentary on this one. I feel like it's kind of obvious how mesmerizing it is, how sexy it is. And I mean, not a lot going on in the other cards, but still useful, you know? That was just a little fun Zodiac Oracle. I had to support my girl. I don't know her. I just think she's great. Okay, another newbie. I just found this one recently, the Telesma, and I fell in love with it. It's really, I was debating whether to get this one or the Ritual Tarot, which is another collage deck that is a handmade collage deck, just like this one. and it's gorgeous. But like I said before, I have a really large affinity for pop culture, and I felt like these images told a story that was more, in a sense, like relatable to me. The Ritual Tarot is incredible and also handmade, and its creator is so talented and also makes music that's amazing. Like, check out her YouTube channel. But there, oh, why am I flipping these? Oh, probably because it's in order. I don't care. I don't know. There was something about this one that I felt like I was getting more information downloads from. And then there are cards like this where I can't not have this in my hands. Like, this picture can't exist and then me not own it. I do love the Lover's card. These rock and roll 80s / like biker like images, I don't know, nothing exists like that in tarot that I know of, and I'm so happy that it's here. Like, I don't know. This, oh, so good. It's giving Dynasty. It's reminding me of like 80s TV shows. Like 80s media. Oh, I put her, the title. There's 2 title cards. One's a moon card and one is a sun card. So this is the regular moon card and there's the title card, and I left them all in. I do that. So these 2 are both the sun card as well. Coming from like a fashion and beauty magazine upbringing, you know, like being really into that type of media, I think also attributes to my interest in this one. I feel like at this point in my life, the Ritual Tarot, and why I keep bringing it up is because they really do remind me of each other, and it was kind of difficult for me to decide, you know, which one I was going to go with. But the Ritual Tarot feels like spiritual and like historical and like cultural in a way that I'm not in a place like I'm not at. Like, it just feels so big, like not intimidating, but like so far removed from my own experience, which is equally as like appealing as it is kind of scary, right? And this feels like a fever dream that I could have had, you know, or that I could have seen on TV. And it's very like recent past, it feels like. And I think that as much as I love collage, and like you've seen, you know, collage in my collection. I don't know if any of those collages were hand done, maybe the Lioness. But I feel like this fills a spot for me that nothing else does. And it expresses a part of my personality that nothing else does. There are also a few really good walkthroughs of this on YouTube and kind of reviews. Like, it does have these spatial cards, cosmic cards, but those ones aren't even my favorite. My favorites are like are like this. I mean, I love this one. I love this one. But the very material world. Yeah, like maybe, is it because I'm vain? Is it because I'm a consumer? I don't know. I am a lover of like beauty and like experience on earth, and sometimes I don't want to be like up in the stars. Sometimes I want to be on the floor of my workout class in 1987, you know? Sometimes I want to be nostalgic for things that I remember. Like the adults when I was a kid. And I remember being a kid and really being envious of the experiences that my mom and her friends were having, or my older cousins. Because I don't know if I was romanticizing that time period back then, but I sure do now. And this is a way that I can get in touch with that, and I can kind of relive it. Because I find myself as an adult trying to do that a lot. Kind of living as if I was living in 1991 or something. In my head, romanticizing like my life as if I'm in Pretty Woman. Okay, so that's the Telesma. That's why I love it. Will I get the Ritual Tarot eventually? Yeah, I hope so. I hope I will. And I hope that it won't feel so like each piece is like should be in a museum. And that's like such a compliment, because I really think that's gorgeous and I love museums, but like I don't necessarily know how to interpret that on my own. Like it doesn't feel intuitive to me, even though like everything about it is very intuitive. And it's like I consider myself kind of lofty sometimes, like intellectually, but when I look at that and I go like, am I gonna be able to get any like intuitive hits from this? Like I don't know. Maybe I need to like dive into that. Anyway, this is my next deck. I believe it's called the Witch's Oracle. Let me check. Witches of Legend. This was a Kickstarter. I got 2 of these, one for me, one for a good friend of mine. This is like a lantern back. They are also gilded. And these are famous feminine witches, archetypes. Witchy characters at any rate. And the art is wonderful. Who sees watercolor when it's just black? You know? I feel like it's rare. I feel like it suits this theme really well. And I'm not someone who works with goddesses or witch like archetypes, and so I really like that this deck is something that I can pull and reflect on, like, you know, just another one of those where I don't use this in readings, but I would use this to pull like weekly and try to embody or reflect on this person's energy for the week and learn about a little bit of, you know, mythology. Okay, last one. I think I did go pretty fast. I just saw this, I think, on Boho Tarot. I was looking for a mermaid deck because if you have watched my other videos, you know that I love mermaids and I'm also very picky about them. But I also love these backs. I love shells. I love this specific aesthetic. I love everything about it. I don't even know. I can't pinpoint it, you know? I wasn't I was kind of hesitant at first because it does look kind of, I'll just, you know, pass judgment on something quickly and be like, oh, this looks dated, or, you know, the way that they do the description or the message and the picture. But the more that I was looking at it, the more I was like, no, this is really charming and really cute, and the art is actually really beautiful. And I think I could use it. It's new. I just got it. I feel like if any single thing was different, I don't think I would be able to have this deck. I think I would have passed on it, or if I had gotten it, I would have been like, okay, I can't use this, and got rid of it. But everything is just so, it's like not over the edge to the point where I'm turned off by it. Like, I don't know. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is my perfect mermaid deck, or like, there are little things that I would change probably about everything, but and none of it is enough to like not love. And also like all of it together works so well, I can't really criticize it. I like the messages. I've yet to really go through it. It is kind of like warped, but yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy with this purchase. It's half like mer people and half animal creatures. I don't know, but then there's this in this. That's what I thought it was. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to use it more, but aesthetically I'm really happy with it, and it's like a little gem. So that's it, you guys. I think that's everything, my baby angels. I want to say thank you so much for going on this journey with me and kind of putting a lens on my beautiful decks. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being curious. Thanks so much for being my friend. There will be more videos to come, I promise. And you know what they say. My mom's coming, I gotta go.